Alright guys, time for lesson 2 of unit 3, and today we're going to be talking about like terms, okay? Um, let's get right into it. So a polynomial, like we learned last time, is in simplified form when it contains only one term of each degree, right? So that each degree is when a variable has it to an exponent, and no terms with a zero coefficient. And so we'll learn what that means. Okay, let's get going. So like terms are terms that differ only by their numerical coefficients, right? So if we have 2x squared, the 2 is our numerical coefficient, okay? But they have the same letters, in this case our variable here, and degree, which is our exponent, okay? So like terms can be represented by algebra tiles the same size and shape. So for example, negative 2x or negative x squared and 3x squared are like terms because x squared, right, is our degree, like the same degree and the same variable, okay? So each term has the same variable raised to the same exponent. In this case, x is our variable, and our degree is 2 because the exponent is of 2. Okay, so for example, negative x squared and 3x are unlike terms because each term has the same variable, right? We have x, but the degree to the power of 2 and to the power of 1. So the degrees are different, so they're unlike terms, and they cannot, I will reinforce this, cannot be combined. Okay? The one thing I will also mention, right, is if we have different variables. Okay, so we looked at different degrees, but if we had x squared and y squared, they are not the same variable. Okay, so they cannot be combined, even though they have the same degree. So cannot be combined. Okay, just to hopefully clarify some of this, and then we'll be able to keep going. Okay, so how do we combine like terms? Well, we combine the coefficients of the like terms and keep the variables and degree the same. Okay, so especially when we're adding and subtracting, when we multiply and divide, it gets a little bit more complicated, but honestly doesn't change that much, right? If we can understand adding and subtracting, we can definitely understand multiplying and dividing. Okay, so here we go. So in this case here, which terms can we combine? Well, we have an x squared, and no x at all. So what we can do is combine our two terms, right? This is a positive 5x squared and a positive 4x squared. So we combine the coefficients. So 5 plus 4 is 9. And then our terms stay the same, okay? And then we add in our other term. We can't just forget about him. He's still there. Again, the biggest mistake you can make in math is forgetting about your numbers, okay? Over here we have a few other. So here we have 10x cubed, or to the power of 3, and negative 7x cubed. We have a positive, and we're subtracting, okay? So 10 minus 7 is 3x cubed. Here we have 2x squared and 4x squared, and they're both positive, so 6x squared. Okay. We have an x and a negative 2x, so 1 minus 2 is negative 1x. You could even write it without the 1, it doesn't change anything, and then 6. All right. Another way you could represent this, right, is if we have our algebra tiles. It gets a little complicated with cube numbers, but for this example here, right, we could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, and they're all positive, so they all get colored in. We have 4x squared, so we have another 4. Okay, and they're positive, so there's no canceling. So now we have 9x squared. Hey, look at that, just like we want. And then our 5 individual tiles. Right? So this is another way of visualizing how we're adding things. Over here, when we were subtracting, right, we had opposites, and so they canceled. All right, let's keep going. All right, so here we have an 4xy, and xy is our variable. They're multiplied together, so they're stuck together right now. So we can't just separate them and add this x to that x and that y to a different y. We have to keep things together. The other thing we should always keep in mind is we start with the highest degree first. So here we have xy, but neither are to the power of anything. So we're going to start with our terms. And we can start with the x, we can start with the y, it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to start with the x's. So we're going to go 3x squared, right? And it's negative, so we've taken care of that. You can cancel it out. Then we can go with negative y squared minus 3y squared, so minus 4y squared. Done, done. Then usually we go with our combined terms. So here we have plus 4xy, plus 2xy, plus 6xy, and then all we're left with is minus x. Okay, takes a few steps. But it's definitely worth it. So I'm going to have you guys try it on your own, and then during class we'll kind of go over this. So that will be tomorrow, and then we'll kind of see where we end up. All right, let's continue on though. All right, so one last thing, just again for your sake, we'll do a visual example. Because it sometimes helps to clarify things, and especially because the textbook will ask you to do some of that, and so we'll take a look at it. Okay, so use algebra tiles to simplify 3x squared minus 5 plus 2x plus 4 minus 5x squared minus 2x. Holy cow, Mr. B. So what we're going to do is first we're going to just draw it out before we start doing anything. Okay, so here we have 3x squared. And they're positive, so they go together. Okay, done. Now we're going to look at the next term that's similar. So here we have minus 5x squared. All right, done. Now let's cancel out right away. So here, we'll switch to red. Okay, so a positive and a negative cancel out, cancel out. Cancel out. So all we're left with here is negative 2x squared, right? So we have 2x squareds, and they're both negative. All right, next one. 2x, and that's a positive, and minus 2x. I'll do it underneath just to keep everything consistent. Okay, and done, done. Switch to red again. All right, so we have a x and an x, both positives and negatives, so they cancel right out. They're gone. Don't even have to worry about them anymore. Awesome. And then lastly, we have a minus 5 and a plus 4. I'll draw these over here. So minus 5. So I get a little bigger, and plus 4. Color those in right away so I don't forget. All right, so here we're going to go do our canceling. So here, these can cancel, these can cancel, these can cancel, these can cancel, and all we're left with is minus 1. Okay, so we can take our two terms, and we go negative 2x squared minus 1. Final answer. You win, won the $1 million, congratulations. And your big grand prize, whoa, there we go. It's going to be page 187, questions 5 to 12, 16, and 20. Good luck. If you have questions, come see me. Otherwise, have a good one.